so you met
in California at Esalen through Carolyn Braddock, who did workshops at Esalen, and in Colorado. And we kept meeting through those workshops. And
you kept going to Esalen for various workshops?
Mm-hmm.
Over what period of time?
That's how we got to know each other, and that's how we met 25 years ago, got together.
Yeah.
I was still living in Tennessee. She was in California.
I was in Los Angeles.
Then did you come to stay with her when you went to the workshops, or how did that?
I did one of that. Was that the weekend that we got together?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That one weekend.
Yeah. I would fly in up at Esalen, but that particular weekend, she asked me to come out and stay with her, and I rode up there with her from LA.
And then back.
So she had her eye on me. That's why she wanted me to come out and stay with her.
I just try to trace how it happens. So did you do that aha moment at one of the workshops, or was it later?
We did a couple, right?
Couple.
Yeah, a couple more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we just ended up deciding to pursue a relationship and
long distance.
But then pretty soon you moved to Colorado.
And Carolyn was trying to get certain of her students to move to Colorado with her.
Oh, I remember you said that, right?
Yeah, so I moved out first
To Denver
for 6 months.
Yes.
And then you moved out there with me.
Right. I closed my private practice down and moved out in February of 97, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
and then we lived in Colorado for 5 years and then moved here, and we've been here since 2002.
Okay, 20 years.
Yeah.
25 years.
That's great.
And married in officially married in 20, whenever the Supreme Court allowed us. 2017?
Was that 17?
I think so.
18? I don't remember.
Yeah, we got married that year. Yeah.
Right. I should remember that day too, but you get together and you make a commitment. So all these things are important, I think. You've been married 3 times to the same person. So that's how Marge puts it. So then we did that last one, the legal one, and then we stopped doing that. We had a party the first time in 1978, and then later on we could get married, and we were in Oregon, Portland. And we didn't know anybody. We went down to the courthouse, everybody was getting married, the whole place was gay, it was wonderful. And they gave us our check back. So then we did the final marriage when it was legal. And now we're scared.
Or two.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We were hoping that if it's a problem, we would be grandfathered in, so to speak, the people that are already legally married.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them did not marry for various reasons.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And if it's thrown back to the states, at least you're in a state.
That's right.
And actually, we got married in California. That's where our marriage license is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And very specifically chose that because we did not want to get married in Tennessee.
Because of her work.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And so our marriage license is under there's a thing in California where you can get a marriage license that nobody knows of unless
takes a court order
to get access to it. Yes.
That's interesting.
And so we chose to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
it's sad.
It is. It is sad. I'm worried about it.
Yeah. It is sad to be worried about it.
Yeah. But it sounds like we're, as safe as we can be.
Yeah.
One can only hope that with so many people legally married, they would just grandfather us in. I mean, that would be the ultimate, to nullify literally thousands and thousands of marriages. So we'll see, whatever.
I didn't know that I was so, we've been together so long, then the legal thing came in. So we were working in Santa Maria and I went to the courthouse to get my application, right? And I picked it up and the woman asked me some basic questions and they gave me the paperwork and went out to my car and I cried because it meant so much to me. I didn't realize all those years, all this piling up. And,
Well, and it was different getting married. And for us, when we went to the courthouse and it was like, wow, this is like official.
Yeah.
right, that's right. It is.
Yeah.
And we were concerned about how they would receive us, but it was in Marin County. They were just as nice as they could be. We were driving and through Kentucky when a friend called and said, congratulations on the Supreme Court decision. I thought it was about Obamacare because I was on Obamacare then. And she said, no, they just said you can get married. And we both cried. It took us by surprise, but it was so, I think to have it really recognized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
We don't want to take it away from anybody else.
No.
Like away from us.
Yeah.
So great. So we're all married. We're going to stay that way.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to support anybody that wants to support it.
Yeah.
California is a good state to be in. You're correct.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm glad that we have our marriage license through
I know.
California.
You didn't know how glad you would be, did you?
That's right.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Right.
No, very true.
It may be proved to be very beneficial, at least to stay legally married somewhere. I'd hate to lose the federal benefits, but if it happens, it happens. But, yeah.
There's a lot going on that we're not comfortable with. But we're alive, so. What was the thing that drew you to each other, do you think?
Well, I didn't like her at first. We were Carolyn Braddock, the workshops. Carolyn taught trauma, body-centered therapy. All of her workshops were around trauma. And I remember one workshop watching Susan work with somebody during lunch and thought, well, she's a bitch. So I'm not going to say I didn't like her. There was something endearing about her too. But that day I thought, wow, it's interesting because I think in those workshops, everybody bears their soul. It's around trauma. And I think we just on some level got to know each other without even acknowledging it. And it just happened. Yeah.
I've seen that happen when I had groups and things.
Yeah.
Two women fall in love in a group.
Yeah.
Like bang.
Yeah.
How it happened, that didn't repeat. But I mean, yeah. They were known for those aggressive, assertive workshops. And you learn a lot about the person before you have to really engage with them.
And I think one thing, because we keep saying this through 20 years, 25 years, is that there couldn't be a better match with us. Our essence is so much the same. What we do and what we want to do with life and in life and who we are at our essence is we couldn't be more compatible. And I think we knew that
on some level
yeah. Through the workshops. And yeah.
So what's been the most exciting moment about your relationship thus far?
Gosh, all these years.
You have time. We have all the time here.
I would say for me with Pam, it's been just that she embraces a lot of what is important to me, which is people and caring for, I don't know necessarily the underdogs, but how would you frame that?
Disenfranchised.
The disenfranchised, that's a good word. And we have brought people into our homes, and they've lived with us. And many of our friends are like, why do you do that? And that is like, and there's been some pretty challenging people that have lived with us. But it just
That's who we
is
are.
right. And it is who we are. And I think that's, although I don't know if I knew that when Pam and I got together about Pam, that core essence of her, but I would say that is a major significance of what drew me to her. And I would say that one of the things that I love about our relationship is we both love to travel and love we just got back from Ireland last month, which was just delightful, but just taking road trips. And
we both love the ocean.
Yeah.
Both love the mountains.
Yeah.
We both love dogs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, as far as exciting goes, I think our marriage, it was a fairy book. It really was a fairy tale marriage. And that was pretty special.
Yeah, it was just, there was only my family there, 11 people, I think.
Well, one representative from each.
Yeah, I'm the oldest of 5, and so I had someone from every one of my siblings or someone from their one of their children and my mom. And we got married in our bare feet in the ocean or
the sand of San Francisco Bay.
Yeah, at my sister's house. Yeah. And our sister-in-law married us,
yes,
which was wonderful. And
she a minister? You chose her to marry you.
Yeah. And
in fact, one of the pictures that we have is at our wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where we were staying was at her sister's. Let us stay in their boathouse right on the bay.
Yeah.
And they got us, we met at Esalen, so she asked, she said, her sister Darla said, Corey, her wife, wants to give you a night at Esalen. She said, oh, that'd cost too much. And I said, wait a minute. So Darla said, well, let's just throw the spaghetti in the wall, and if it sticks, we'll go. If they've got a room, well, if you're familiar with Esalen, the 2 founders used to have a place, a house right literally on the cliff's edge.
That is across from the Pacific Ocean's right there.
And that was the only place available. It's $800 a night, and they got it for us.
Oh,
and, I mean, it couldn't have been more special for us to go there on our wedding day or not. And yeah, it was just incredible.
Yeah. So.
Wow. So you really have a lot of great memories of that.
Yeah.
We do.
So many people celebrated with you.
Oh gosh, it was going to be small, and she kept adding. No, there wasn't 40, maybe 20.
No, there was more.
There's
than
not.
20.
No, there wasn't. 40.
There's maybe 30. We'll go half. We'll go. It was a lovely crowd, and I can remember stepping out of the car and seeing all these friends showing up, and it was like, oh my gosh, these are like all of our buddies. Yeah. And it was so wonderful.
And Jane, who does flower arrangement, did all the flowers. And a friend of ours took probably 200 pictures.
Yeah.
And they all cooked for us. It was really quite wonderful. Yeah.
And we read some of the same things that we read when we got married in California. So
what's a verse that you remember from that?
It was too long ago.
Well, we had, what do we have? Scalia.
Well, we did Scalia's statement. We did say that from his, from the majority opinion. We read his statement.
At both the wedding and at our ceremony.
Gosh, I can't.
And then we had 5 readings, and 4 of them were poems.
Yeah.
Significant, but I can't remember how significant they are right now. So that was a while ago.
At that time, they were significant.
Right. This is Marge. Hi.
Hey.
Hi, Marge. Hi.
Nice to see you.
Meet you. Yeah.
So, anyway, what keeps your relationship magical? I can see it has a lot of magic. They've been together 25 years.
Patience. I think it's helped. When COVID first happened, I worked from home, and now I'm working out of the home. I think that's been helpful. Don't you?
Well, yeah, but that's just a short amount of time in the 25 years.
So what would you say?
Keep it magical. I think we don't travel enough, but when we do travel, I couldn't have picked a better traveling buddy than her. So our trips have been we take at least one big trip a year. And it's just, yeah, that, and I grew up on a farm, so I always farm. I've made her into a little farm girl from LA.
Like when we first moved here, I'm like, why do people park their cars in the yard? I mean, that's just like so weird.
On the grass.
On the grass, and now I park my car on the grass.
She got to drive my truck, and she was so happy.
I'm like, I'm a farm girl.
But she gets, I mean, we both love, I do most of the work outside, but we both love being outside and working outside. I don't know. It goes back to, I think our essence is just so close. Don't you think? Yeah. We just have the same outlook on life.
We have a lot of the same values of what's important and what's not, and the bullshit that's out there. And And
so I'll tell you this too. I don't have to support you as much as you support me, but one thing I think for us, when we need our time alone, it's fine.
This is going to be viewed by younger people.
Yeah.
And older people that want a relationship like yours, 25 years, it's outstanding. Yeah. And it's one of the best parts of the collection that people are drawn to, I will tell you that.
Yeah.
It was determined to do this, suggested anyway, by Sherry Smith, who was interviewed, she and her partner.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're...
Well, we have, I mean, I think we've been told that surely we have fights. Surely we argue because everybody does. It's like we don't. We have spats, and we might get ticked at each other, and 10 minutes later, and that's rare. Ever since, but when we first moved back here, we haven't been together long. She left me. She drove off and left me in the parking lot of Lowe's. I can't remember.
So angry. I don't remember what I was angry about. And she was so angry with me.
We laughed about that later, but we really don't. I mean, we don't hold any anger. We don't really get angry. I don't know that I've ever been angry at you.
You weren't angry.
We've had moments.
You weren't angry that you were left in the parking lot?
Well, that day I was a little pissed. That was 22, 23 years ago. We don't even remember what it was about.
So. That's a good way to handle it too, though.
Yeah.
I mean, why sit and battle if you need space,
I think I will hand a lot of this to Carolyn Braddock, who we both not only did workshops with, we did therapy with her. She was in therapy before, I was in therapy, and I had made a decision. I had not been in a relationship for 7 or 8 years. And I had made a decision that the next one was going to be a healthy decision, a healthy relationship. So I worked on myself. She was working on herself. So we came into the relationship in a healthy space, which a lot of people don't.
Right.
That, I think, has been the bedrock of our relationship, that we had done our own work.
And Pam is my first relationship with a woman, and one of my first relationships altogether. And I didn't go in like, oh my gosh, I'm gay and I want to be with a woman. It's just, I fell in love with Pam. And I can remember coming after Pam and I decided to see where this relationship would go. And I share with some of my friends, so yeah, I met this woman, her name is Pam, and we're in a relationship. And they're like, oh, you're gay? And it's like, no, I just fell in love with a woman, and I wouldn't say to you, oh, you're heterosexual. That is so wonderful that you're with, this guy, you're heterosexual. And it just infuriated me. And still to this day infuriates me. I detest labels. As a therapist, I really hate giving diagnoses, because then those diagnoses stay with that person the rest of their life. If you file it for insurance, I mean, it's just crazy. And it's like labels, I think, are so damaging. Anyways,
and my take on that is, in everyday life, I feel the same way. But with things getting ready possibly to change with the Supreme Court, and down here, there's a lot of rhetoric. I know it's Gay Pride Month, so the rhetoric has become very vicious here. I would proudly stand up in defense of people who are gay and say that, in defending who I am as a woman in love with a woman. But in everyday stuff, it's like, treat me like somebody else, that's who I am. But yeah, I would, stand up and say, yeah, I'm gay. So
I don't like that word.
Okay.
I was thinking the same thing. At first, I didn't like that word either. And then homosexual was huge.
Yeah.
Lesbian.
I don't like that either.
Yeah.
But now I like lesbian.
Yeah.
So
I think it's the connotation we each put with it. Like,
right.
After the day we were married, her sister has an infinity pool that looks out over the bay. So we spent the whole day there, and her mother came up. Susan's mother came up to me and she said, now you are going to call her your wife, right? I said, no. because of the connotation that has for me. And it surprised me, because she was the wife of somebody who screwed around with his secretary that was Susan's age. So it's like, wow, it's like, so you're happy with the term wife. I'm not. But I actually started using that. I think I shifted, away from that connotation of what I knew about it as wives of men, and
spouse.
Well, I use spouse here because here, and I don't know elsewhere, but here in the South, I figured it's probably easier on the people I'm talking to say spouse than wife. It wouldn't be such a shock to them. Mm-hmm. And because I've had to change, like going to
the doctors
and stuff like that. It's like, she's my spouse. I figured that would be easier than saying wife to them. So, but I like the term spouse.
And we often refer to each other as partners.
Yeah.
That feels
married. I never wanted to be a wife either. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Do you have questions you'd like to ask us?
How long have you guys been together?
45 years.
Wow.
Those are 45 good years. Right.
Congratulations.
Yeah. You don't see, that's the longest I've heard of any women being together, women being together. I know a couple men that have been together 40, 45 years, but wow, that's fabulous. Yeah.
Yeah. We grew up together, basically. When you said that about sort of exploring your own space and passions, that's certainly something that's made our relationship work.
I think it's so important to share something so deep.
Trying to figure out who you are. I mean,
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now I have a pretty good idea, but 35, I didn't.
Yeah.
What keeps you guys together?
I'm proud of our commitments, and I'm proud of knowing Marge. Mm-hmm. Well, she's special, and I'm just really lucky to be with her. Right. And I tell her that, but she doesn't. I can't think of not being. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And we have a lot of adventures. We've tried a lot of things, just like this collection thing. We didn't know what we were doing. We're still learning. But why not?
Well, thank you for doing this. It's really important.
Mhm.
Thank you for being a part.
Yeah.
You know, it's going on forever. It's when
Yeah.
we're gone, it'll be there.
Yeah.
So,
I know Susan sees a lot, well, not a lot, but she's kind of put it out there that she's willing to work with gays and trans people in her private practice. Because she knows how important it is.
I just got another call today with someone that found out about me because of my LGBTQ trans whatever connection. So yeah, and it is important because here in Tennessee, therapists can refuse. I mean, it's so stupid. Therapists can refuse to work with somebody of LGBTQ trans because of their own belief, their biblical or faith belief, which to me is just appalling. I mean, it's like you, Marge, as a doctor, choosing not to do surgery on somebody because of your political beliefs and because they're of different political beliefs. I mean, it's just, to me, it is so wrong on so many levels.
so was there a point when you just said, this is forever, this is the person I want to stay with forever, or you got married?
I would think I pretty much knew that pretty early on in our relationship.
Even after you moved here?
Even, I mean, Pam came here. We were living in Denver, and she came here to teach for a summer, and called me and said, "I need to move back to the South. I need to move back to Chattanooga." And I was like,
I didn't know why. I just knew I needed to come.
and I was like, "Holy crap!" And we were in Denver at that time, and it took me 9 months to say I would move with her.
Because I told her I was coming back, whether she did or not. I didn't know why I was supposed to be back here. And now I think it's more that she was supposed to be here because she found her calling with hospice here.
Yeah.
And I think that's
and that's
Plus,
why.
Mom got sick soon after that, and it was better for her to be here and die here than Denver. So, but I really think it was to get you back here.
Yeah, but I didn't know that at the time. And when we drove in here, we drove into Memphis, and we had been here a couple of times before that, just to see that the house we live in is a house that Pam's father, grandfather, and uncles built for her grandmother. And so we live on the property that was part of the Dent property. But we pull into a gas station, and there is this man, it's in the summertime, with...
No, she went inside. When she came back outside, she got in the car and she said, "Does anybody here have teeth?"
Now maybe you'll become a dentist.
Overalls with one of his bibs, the bib like half off, a big belly, no teeth. And I was just like, oh my God, what have I said yes to? It has definitely been, I mean, I lived in LA for almost 40 years, and then went to Colorado and then here. And so it definitely has been an adjustment.
Oh, you gotta hear this story. We weren't here long. And she said, "Oh, there's a diversity meeting. Chattanooga's having a diversity meeting with the mayor and I don't know, all the dignitaries." So she went to it. She's like,
by myself.
A diversity meeting, right? So she had a little moo-moo type thing on her sandals. She went in and they prayed, and that upset her because, it's like, this isn't supposed to be a religious thing. But
the woman in front of me
started, did they get flags?
No, there were 3 different people. Like there was a Muslim woman, I want to say an African-American woman, and some other Jewish. I mean, so from 3 different diverse populations. And the woman in front of me was sitting with her back to me, and she had this vest on that said,
"Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition."
And I was just like appalled.
But tell her what they said to you when you came out.
I don't remember.
Oh, I don't know what you said. You said something to them. They said, just from looking at you about, you're one of those California,
Those, yeah.
something about California, they pegged you just because, for the way you were dressed and whatever you said to them.
I
Yeah.
was so appalled. And this woman, the one that said, praise the Lord and pass the ammunition, which I didn't know was a song, but she was so horrid to the 3 or 4 people up on the stage that were like these guest speakers from different, backgrounds. It was a diversity luncheon. And I mean, I really wanted to strangle her.
I think she called you a California hippie.
Yes, so she did call me a California hippie. Yes, it's like,
And you call it that.
yeah, that was probably within the first 2 months that we were here.
But there were some places that I was concerned about her going. Very much concerned. Yeah.
Because I was in the rural, like where you don't have cell phone coverage, rural, and guns. I mean, you walk in and there's guns just sitting everywhere, and you're. Anyways, it was a very. I quickly had a very. I was
Quick orientation.
Yeah, education.
Everywhere she went for a job interview, they asked her what church she belonged to.
Yeah.
She'd come home every day. Can you believe what happened? What they've asked me? Like, yeah, it's the South.
And they still do. Not just so much jobs, but individuals. Where do you go to church? So.
This.
Thank you. It's a delight to to spend some time with you guys. So
We're honored. I mean, really, this is.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.